can I find that 100x gem? What kind of research do I actually have to do? It's a question I get asked often enough. And so today, we're going to go through a breakdown and look at 12 important aspects of altcoin gem research. And then we're going to apply them to a coin that we think has real potential in the real world assets part of DeFi. As far as methodology goes, this is your best bet to uncover those 100x crypto gems. Welcome guys to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. Whether you invest in hidden gems or blue chips, I wish you luck, but I'm not a financial or investment advisor, obviously. And so this video is not official financial or investment advice. Like I said, today is all about how to find potential 100x gems on your own independently. And the easiest way to show you how I do it using my methodology is to show the techniques that we use at Altcoin Buzz in a case study format. And our subject for today is Centrifuge. It's a project that has a lot of features that we like so far, and therefore it's going to be a great example as far as going through these steps and checking off the right boxes. And the very first thing that we have to consider is narrative. And I probably sound like a broken record. I keep saying how important narratives are in crypto, but the truth is that they really are important. They're crucial. Because otherwise, how are people going to find the project when there are thousands, literally thousands of projects out there in the crypto space? There are way too many altcoins. So we got to separate the wheat from the chaff. Therefore, one of the first things that we look for is the story, the narrative behind a project. And Centrifuge so far has got it. Really, before the idea of bringing real-world assets, RWAs, to the blockchain, before that was even cool or was even in discussions, Centrifuge was already doing it. And they're one of the leaders in the stat that matters most in this particular narrative, actually doing deals involving RWAs. Here we're on tinlake.centrifuge.io, and Tinlake, which is Centrifuge's DeFi protocol of RWA pools, shows a TVL of over 184 million DAI. And so it's not only hype around RWAs because Centrifuge is actually doing it. Almost 1,100 assets tokenized so far. We also have to consider practical use and product market fit. Because when a project first starts out, it's tough to evaluate. It's all based on potential, right? But the beauty here is that Centrifuge has already pivoted to adjust to the needs of its clients. And here's what I mean. As an RWA finance chain, some access to Ethereum or EVM is absolutely necessary because it's where most of the DeFi money is. And many apps Centrifuge could partner with, like Aave, are there. So that's great. But they also need better security and interoperability to be able to work on many chains. So how do they go about solving these issues? Well, they build on Substrate. That's what Polkadot is built on after all, and they operate as a Polkadot parachain too. But there's more to it because there's also a wrapped centrifuge that's ERC20 compliant, so they can access ETH assets as well. All in all, it's very representative of smart planning. And it's clear that what Centrifuge is doing so far is working, but the big risk is how small and new this RWA market really is, which is something that we do have to keep in mind. Next up, we have to look at tokenomics, and we have to consider real token utility. First, what I'll say is that most governance is nonsense so far, especially if you're outside of the Cosmos chains. So if the token's only utility is governance, that's a big red flag as we see it. Centrifuge uses its native CFG token for charging transaction fees and for staking as well, which is good. And CFG also provides some specific chain security functions and payments that RWA firms want to see. As far as the deflationary and burn mechanics, we have two different but related questions here. So number one, is the token inflationary or deflationary? And number two, does the token have a burn mechanism program? As of right now, the token is still inflationary, paying out the staking rewards in new CFG. However, there is a burn program for a percentage of all fees the chain charges, and that helps inflation from getting too high. Now look, we still prefer deflationary tokens, but this setup for CFG is not bad. It's pretty good. As far as token allocations, we have to ask ourselves how much is going to the team. We all agree that the team should get some, but are they being fair to us as investors? How much is allocated to the public? Well, here are the numbers on CFG. So the allocations are as follows. 27% to contributors and the team, 17.1% to backers, 7.3% for grants and rewards, 8.3% for early ecosystem, 11.8% for development grants, 7.1% for community grants, 11.8% to foundation, and 9.5% for community sale. Vesting for the team is a 12-month cliff, which unlocks over 48 months. This means the team is locked in for a minimum of 1 year, and some cases up to 4 years. Early stage investors have their tokens unlocked since December 2022, i.e. after the 1-year unlock. And currently, circulating supply over total supply is at 80%. That's 360 million out of 447 million. That's a pretty good ratio. How would I assess this data? Well, contributors, who can be anyone really, not only a VC, and the team get 25%. That's more than usual. Not egregious, but a little bit above average. I've seen projects where teams alone have a higher percentage than this. And then between grants and rewards, community grants and community sale at TGE, Token Generation Event, almost 24% was available to the public. But what I like is with 80% of the total supply out there, that's a big positive. It means that no artificial price inflation due to a small supply. It also means that if we're not happy with the amount available to the public, we can easily go out and buy some. And it's not only available in Substrate and on Polkadot, there's a wrapped version for Ethereum that's ERC20 compliant as well. The vesting period looks good with appropriate locks for the team. We like to see that. Let's now discuss the team and market value. So the team is fully doxed and pretty strong, with top management having successfully co-founded previous businesses. The CEO is Lucas Vogelsang, ex-engineering manager from Talia, which is a supply chain finance company. He also co-founded Dine Deal, which was acquired by another company called Ringier. The COO is Martin Quencel, ex-SAP engineer and architect. He co-founded Talia and Ebidos. And you might have noticed that a lot of the team here comes from TradFi and Legacy Web 2. In a case like Centrifuge, that's actually a good thing because after all, they're bringing TradFi services and transactions to DeFi. So having that experience under your belt gives them added credibility in the market. They're not trying to implement old school Web 2 designs, but they're bringing some of those services and that functionality to this new DeFi space that we're trying to improve, and they're going to be an integral component of that as we see it. And finally, we're going to take a look at market cap because we have to have reasonable expectations surrounding an existing market cap if we do indeed expect it to 100x. Centrifuge here, again ticker CFG, has a market valuation of about $97 million right now, ranking it number 312 across all crypto projects. That's even though they've financed $338 million so far across almost 1,100 assets. Could a real-world asset platform get up to 9.7 billion? That would be the 100x. That would make it the size of what Solana is right now. Is it possible? If it's the current leader and it can stay that way, then I believe it can. Yes, it's definitely possible. So based on all of these metrics and all of these criteria that we've discussed, how does Centrifuge score overall? Well, we do like the narrative. That's a positive. The product market fit also gets a pass. Real-world token utility, aside from governance, we like. It's not deflationary though, so it's not getting the check in this case. The burn program is a positive. The term allocation is okay. Nothing too great, nothing too bad. Same with public allocation. This kind of gets a neutral rating. But the public ability to access it is great. It's a good number as far as the circulating supply goes. The team vesting we approve of. The fact that the team is public with great and relevant experience is a plus. And therefore, we think that yes, this project can 100x. The only slight knock against it is that it's not deflationary. But again, we feel that's made up for in terms of the circulating supply, 80% that is now available.